Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode on Bold and Brave. Let's talk about how to set and stick to boundaries. Listen and take notes. Number 1. Identify your personal values and priorities. Setting healthy boundaries starts with understanding what truly matters to you. By identifying your personal values and priorities, you can ensure that you are making decisions that align with your goals and beliefs. This can be a powerful tool in helping you establish and stick to boundaries that support your overall well-being. Think about what is important to you, what you stand for, and what you want to prioritize in your life. This could include things like your relationships, career, health, or personal growth. Once you have a clear understanding of these values, you can begin to make decisions that align with them. Even if it means saying no to certain requests or situations that do not fit with your priorities. Knowing your values and priorities can give you the confidence to set boundaries that are true to who you are and what you want in life. So, take the time to reflect on what matters most to you and make a commitment to prioritizing these things in your daily life. Number 2. Clearly communicate your boundaries to others. Clear communication is key to setting and maintaining healthy boundaries. If you want others to respect your boundaries, it's essential that you clearly and assertively communicate them. This means taking the time to thoughtfully express your needs and expectations, and making sure that the people in your life understand what you are and are not willing to tolerate. Don't be afraid to speak up for yourself. Use I statements to express how you feel and what you need, and be specific about the behaviors or situations that you want to avoid. It's important to remember that boundaries are not meant to control others, but to protect yourself and your own well-being. By clearly communicating your boundaries, you are sending a message that you value yourself and your needs, and that you are willing to take steps to ensure that they are respected. This can create a healthier, more fulfilling dynamic in your relationships and help you build a sense of self-respect and confidence. So, don't hesitate to speak up and be clear about what you need and want in your relationships. Number 3. Say no to requests that violate your boundaries. Saying no is a powerful tool in setting and maintaining healthy boundaries. When someone makes a request that violates your boundaries, it can be tempting to go along with it just to avoid conflict or discomfort. However, it's important to remember that saying no is a way of taking care of yourself and protecting your own well-being. It's okay to decline requests that don't align with your values or priorities, or that would take up too much of your time or energy. You don't have to explain or justify your decision. Simply saying no, "I'm sorry, I can't do that," is sufficient. Remember that your time and energy are valuable, and you have the right to spend them as you see fit. Saying no can be difficult at first, especially if you're used to putting others' needs before your own. But over time, it becomes easier and more natural, and you'll start to feel more confident in your ability to set and stick to boundaries. So, the next time someone makes a request that violates your boundaries, don't be afraid to say no and take care of yourself. Number 4. Stick to your decisions, even in difficult situations. Staying committed to your decisions, even in the face of opposition or discomfort, is an essential component of setting and maintaining healthy boundaries. When you set a boundary, it's important to follow through on it, even if it means facing some pushback or conflict. It can be tempting to cave into the demands or pressure of others, especially if you're worried about hurting their feelings or damaging your relationship. However, it's important to remember that your boundaries are in place for a reason, and that by sticking to them, you are taking care of yourself and setting a clear and healthy dynamic in your relationships. Remember that setting and maintaining boundaries is a process, and it takes time and practice to become comfortable with sticking to your decisions. But with time and consistency, you'll start to feel more confident in your ability to set and enforce boundaries that support your well-being. So, stay committed to your decisions, even when it's difficult, and take care of yourself in the process. Number 5. Set consequences for those who repeatedly violate your boundaries. When it comes to setting and maintaining healthy boundaries, it's important to have consequences in place for those who repeatedly violate them. This not only helps to protect your own well-being, but it also sends a clear message that you are serious about your boundaries and expect them to be respected. The consequences for boundary violations can vary, depending on the situation and the relationship. It could mean ending the relationship, limiting contact, or taking some other form of action to protect yourself. The key is to make sure that the consequences are clear, consistent, and communicated to the other person in advance. Having consequences in place for boundary violations can be a powerful tool in helping you establish and maintain healthy relationships. It shows that you are serious about your boundaries and that you are willing to take steps to protect yourself and your well-being. So, Take the time to think about what consequences would be appropriate for those who repeatedly violate your boundaries and make a plan for how you will respond if necessary. Number 6. Practice self-care and prioritize your own needs. Self-care is an essential component of setting and maintaining healthy boundaries. When you prioritize your own needs and take care of yourself, you are sending a message that you value yourself and your well-being. This, in turn, makes it easier to set and enforce boundaries that support your well-being and protect you from being taken advantage of by others. Self-care can take many forms, from exercise and healthy eating to taking time for hobbies and self-reflection. The key is to make sure that you are taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental well-being in ways that are meaningful to you. This helps you build resilience and strength and makes it easier to set and stick to boundaries, even in the face of opposition or pressure from others. So, make self-care a priority and take steps to take care of yourself in ways that are meaningful to you. Whether it's setting aside time for hobbies, engaging in physical activity, or simply taking some time for quiet reflection, do what you need to do to support your well-being and take care of yourself. By doing this, you'll be better equipped to set and maintain healthy boundaries in your relationships and in your life. Number 7. Use I statements to assert your boundaries. Using I statements is a powerful tool for asserting your boundaries in a way that is clear, confident, and non-confrontational. When you use I statements, you take ownership of your feelings and needs, which makes it easier to assert your boundaries without causing conflict or defensiveness in others. For example, instead of saying you always do this and it's really bothering me, you can say I feel upset when this happens and I need it to stop. This way, you're communicating your boundaries without blaming or accusing the other person, which makes it more likely that they'll listen and respond in a positive way. Using I statements is an important part of building healthy relationships and establishing clear boundaries. It shows that you are confident and assertive, and that you are taking responsibility for your own feelings and needs. So, make a habit of using I statements when asserting your boundaries, and see the difference it makes in your relationships and in your life. Number 8. Be consistent in enforcing your boundaries. Consistency is key when it comes to enforcing your boundaries. When you are inconsistent in enforcing your boundaries, you send mixed messages and create confusion, which makes it difficult for others to respect them. On the other hand, when you are consistent in enforcing your boundaries, you send a clear message that you are serious about them and expect them to be respected. To be consistent in enforcing your boundaries, you need to be clear about what your boundaries are, and you need to communicate them effectively. You also need to be prepared to enforce your boundaries, even in the face of opposition or resistance from others. This requires courage, assertiveness, and a commitment to taking care of yourself and your well-being. So, if you want to set and maintain healthy boundaries, focus on consistency. Be clear about your boundaries, communicate them effectively, and be prepared to enforce them in a way that is consistent and non-negotiable. By doing this, you'll create healthier relationships and a better quality of life for yourself and those around you. Number 9. Recognize and challenge negative self-talk and beliefs about setting boundaries. Negative self-talk and limiting beliefs about setting boundaries can be major obstacles to setting and maintaining healthy boundaries. If you believe that setting boundaries is selfish, aggressive, or unwarranted, you'll be less likely to set and enforce them. On the other hand, if you recognize and challenge these negative thoughts, you'll be better equipped to set and maintain healthy boundaries in your relationships and in your life. Recognizing negative self-talk and beliefs about setting boundaries is the first step. Once you are aware of these thoughts, you can start to challenge them. For example, you can ask yourself, is this thought helpful? Is it based on evidence? Is it true? By doing this, you can gain a more accurate and balanced perspective, which makes it easier to set and maintain healthy boundaries. So, if you want to set and maintain healthy boundaries, it's important to recognize and challenge negative self-talk and beliefs about setting boundaries. By doing this, you'll be better equipped to take care of yourself and your well-being, and you'll create healthier relationships with those around you. Number 10. Seek support from friends, family, or a therapist if necessary. Setting and maintaining healthy boundaries can be a challenge, especially if you are facing opposition or resistance from others. In these situations, seeking support from friends, family, or a therapist can be incredibly helpful. They can provide you with the encouragement, guidance, and accountability you need to stay committed to your boundaries, even in the face of opposition or resistance. Having a supportive network can make all the difference in your ability to set and maintain healthy boundaries. Whether you are seeking advice, a sounding board, or a shoulder to cry on, the support of others can help you to stay motivated and focused, even when things get tough. So, if you are struggling to set and maintain healthy boundaries, don't be afraid to reach out for help. Seek support from friends, family, or a therapist, and surround yourself with people who believe in you and support your efforts to take care of yourself and your well-being. With their help, you'll be better equipped to set and maintain healthy boundaries, and you'll create happier, healthier relationships with those around you. Number 11. Start small and gradually build up. Don't feel like you have to set all of your boundaries at once. Begin by setting 1 or 2 boundaries and see how it feels. As you become more comfortable, add more boundaries. Do you ever feel like you're constantly overwhelmed by the demands of others, or like your life is being pulled in a million different directions? It's time to start setting some boundaries, my friend. But don't worry, you don't have to do it all at once. In fact, it's better if you don't. Starting small and gradually building up is key when it comes to setting boundaries. It can feel intimidating to suddenly assert yourself in situations where you've previously allowed others to take advantage of you. But by setting 1 or 2 boundaries and seeing how it feels, you can ease yourself into the process. As you become more comfortable, you can add more boundaries and gradually make it a part of your daily life. Remember, setting boundaries is about taking care of yourself and prioritizing your own needs. So start small, take it 1 step at a time, and before you know it, you'll be a boundary-setting pro. Number 12. Trust your instincts. If something feels off or uncomfortable, it's likely a boundary has been crossed. Listen to your intuition and act accordingly. Have you ever been in a situation where everything seemed fine on the surface, but deep down, something just didn't feel right? That's your intuition trying to tell you something. And when it comes to setting and sticking to boundaries, it's important to trust that gut feeling. If something feels off or uncomfortable, it's likely that a boundary has been crossed. And when that happens, it's up to you to listen to your instincts and act accordingly. This can be difficult, especially if you're used to ignoring your own needs in favor of pleasing others. But remember, setting boundaries is about taking care of yourself and honoring your own values and priorities. So the next time something doesn't feel quite right, don't ignore it. Trust your instincts and take action. You'll be surprised at how much easier it becomes to set and stick to boundaries once you start listening to yourself. Number 13. Be assertive, not aggressive. There's a difference between being assertive and being aggressive. Being assertive means expressing your needs and wants clearly and respectfully. Being aggressive means being forceful and potentially disrespectful of others. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you needed to assert yourself, but you didn't want to come across as aggressive? It's a delicate balance, but an important one to master when it comes to setting and sticking to boundaries. The key is to be assertive, not aggressive. There's a difference between expressing your needs and wants clearly and respectfully, and being forceful and potentially disrespectful of others. Being assertive means standing up for yourself in a calm and confident manner, while also being respectful of others. Remember, setting boundaries is about taking care of yourself, but it doesn't mean you have to be rude or dismissive of others. By being assertive and clear in your communication, you can ensure that your boundaries are respected while also maintaining positive relationships with those around you. So the next time you need to assert yourself, remember to be assertive, not aggressive. You'll be amazed at how much more effective your communication can be when you strike the right balance. Number 14. Avoid people-pleasing behaviors. Sometimes we say yes to things we don't want to do because we don't want to disappoint others. Remember that it's okay to put your own needs first. Are you a chronic people pleaser? Do you find yourself saying yes to things you don't actually want to do, just to avoid disappointing others? It's time to break that cycle and start putting your own needs first. Avoiding people-pleasing behaviors is a key part of setting and sticking to boundaries. It can be difficult to say no to others, especially if you're used to putting their needs before your own. But remember, setting boundaries is about taking care of yourself and prioritizing your own needs and values. So the next time someone asks you to do something that you don't want to do, take a deep breath and remind yourself that it's okay to say no. You don't have to please everyone all the time. By putting your own needs first, you'll be better equipped to take care of yourself and live a fulfilling life. So break free from people-pleasing behaviors and start setting boundaries that work for you. You'll be amazed at how much more empowered and confident you feel when you take control of your own life. Number 15. Set boundaries with technology. With the rise of social media and smartphones, it's important to set boundaries around technology use. Consider setting limits on screen time or taking a break from social media altogether. Are you glued to your phone, scrolling through social media for hours on end? Do you find yourself constantly checking your emails or notifications even during your downtime? It's time to set some boundaries with technology. In today's world, technology is everywhere. While it can be incredibly useful and convenient, it can also be a major source of distraction and stress. That's why it's important to set limits on your technology use and take a break from social media and other apps that might be taking up too much of your time and energy. Consider setting specific times of day for checking your phone or email, or taking a break from technology altogether for a set amount of time. By setting boundaries around your technology use, you'll be able to better focus on the things that matter most to you, whether that's spending time with loved ones, pursuing hobbies, or simply relaxing and recharging. So take control of your relationship with technology and set boundaries that work for you. You'll be amazed at how much more productive, focused, and present you can be when you're not constantly distracted by screens and notifications. Number 16. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness can help you become more aware of your thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations, which can help you recognize when a boundary has been crossed. Do you struggle with recognizing when your boundaries have been crossed? Are you unsure of how to set and maintain boundaries that work for you? Practicing mindfulness might be the answer you're looking for. Mindfulness is the practice of being present in the moment without judgment. By becoming more aware of your thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations, you can better recognize when your boundaries have been crossed and take action to protect them. The key to practicing mindfulness is to slow down and pay attention to what's happening in the present moment. This can be as simple as taking a few deep breaths, or taking a moment to pause and reflect before responding to a situation. By practicing mindfulness regularly, you'll become more attuned to your own needs and better equipped to set and maintain boundaries that work for you. So take a deep breath, focus on the present moment, and start practicing mindfulness today. You'll be amazed at the positive impact it can have on your life. Number 17. Prioritize your mental health. Mental health is just as important as physical health. Set boundaries around activities or people that negatively impact your mental health. Your mental health is crucial to your overall well-being, yet it's often overlooked or ignored. It's time to start prioritizing your mental health and setting boundaries that protect it. Just like physical health, mental health requires care and attention. This means setting boundaries around activities or people that negatively impact your mental well-being. It might mean saying no to social events that cause you anxiety, setting limits on how much time you spend with toxic people, or taking breaks when you feel overwhelmed or stressed. By setting boundaries that prioritize your mental health, you're sending a message to yourself and others that your well-being matters. You're also creating space for self-care activities that can improve your mental health, such as meditation, exercise, or therapy. So take a step back and assess what boundaries you need to set to prioritize your mental health. It's not selfish or indulgent. It's a necessary step towards living a healthy, fulfilling life. Number 18. Create a support network. Surround yourself with people who respect your boundaries and support you in sticking to them. Having strong boundaries is important, but it can be challenging to maintain them on your own. That's why it's crucial to create a support network of people who respect your boundaries and help you stick to them. Your support network can be made up of friends, family, or even a therapist. These are the people who you can turn to when you need encouragement, validation, or accountability in maintaining your boundaries. When creating your support network, look for people who respect your boundaries and understand the importance of setting and maintaining them. These are the people who will validate your feelings and encourage you to prioritize your well-being. Remember, you don't have to go through this alone. Creating a support network can be a game changer in maintaining healthy boundaries and living a fulfilling life. So reach out to the people in your life who support you and build a network that will help you thrive. Number 19. Be open to compromise. It's okay to be flexible with your boundaries as long as the compromise doesn't violate your values or priorities. Setting and maintaining boundaries is important, but it's also important to remember that flexibility and compromise can sometimes be necessary. It's okay to be open to negotiation and adjust your boundaries if it's done in a way that doesn't compromise your values or priorities. Being open to compromise means being willing to listen to the other person's perspective and finding a solution that works for both parties. It's important to remember that compromise doesn't mean giving up on your boundaries altogether. It means finding a middle ground that everyone can agree on. So, when faced with a situation that requires compromise, take the time to consider your values and priorities and be open to finding a solution that works for everyone. This doesn't mean giving up on your boundaries, but rather finding a way to honor them while also being respectful of others. By being open to compromise, You're demonstrating your willingness to work with others while also maintaining your boundaries and values. It's a valuable skill to have in all areas of life. Number 20. Celebrate your successes. Recognize and celebrate when you successfully set and stick to a boundary. This will reinforce the behavior and make it easier to do in the future. Celebrating your successes is an important part of setting and maintaining boundaries. It's important to recognize when you've successfully set and stuck to a boundary, no matter how small, as this will reinforce the behavior and make it easier to do in the future. By celebrating your successes, you're also acknowledging the hard work that goes into setting and sticking to boundaries. It's not always easy to say no or to assert your needs and wants, so it's important to give yourself credit when you do. Celebrating your successes can look different for everyone. Maybe it's treating yourself to a small indulgence, or sharing your success with a supportive friend or family member. Whatever it is, make sure to take the time to acknowledge your accomplishment. By celebrating your successes, you'll be motivated to continue setting and sticking to boundaries in the future. And remember, every successful boundary you set is a step towards a healthier, happier life. Thank you for watching. Leave your questions and your opinion in the comment section. Stay motivated.